Mhm.
and he turned out to be one of those worm or snake people, Sugathis.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was there for the beginning of it, but I wasn't there for the
Oh,
conclusion.
okay, okay. Well, we did
So,
manage
but yeah, cool,
to
cool,
finish
cool.
him off with lots of jumping in the air and throwing of random objects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was
Nice.
levitating under the ceiling, and that made him almost untouchable for most of you. So that was a rough battle.
Did
Yeah.
did we collect on the reward, the wanted reward?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, Luca went in to speak with the undead
Up,
person.
Chopcon or something?
Yeah.
up, and yeah. So Afghan gave you the passphrase for the trap room, which I guess at this point you don't really need it anymore because of the exploration that you did. But he also left you a hand scribbled map of the floor that you're on. So that should be available to you as a handout. At least I think it should. Yeah, yeah, you should be the owner of this. Which I guess ultimately also didn't really reveal anything new, I don't think. Um, but he left that map scribbled on the back of a page that he had torn from a spell book, and you were able to sell that spell for some money.
Nice.
Um, After copying the map, of course,
Mm-hmm.
to Morlibend. So there was some value in this. And he was always you barely caught him on his way out. Um, just FYI, it was literally the next day he would have been gone. So you cleared out Jafaki just in time.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and I think after that you decided to head back into town, and that's when we did the various bookkeeping and housekeeping stuff. The let's say because you when you came back it was pretty much late afternoon, so it was evening. So the next morning I would say you spent selling off the various items and potentially buying some stuff. So is there anything that anyone wants to spend some money on in town?
Well, Ottardo at least would like to transfer some runes and purchase some extra runes,
Okay.
and hopefully maybe we'd stay the day before going back in. So we are fully kitted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Soma will agree. I think. I mean, Soma herself is pretty loaded for now, so I think she doesn't need anything that nothing that I can think of, at least from the top of my head right now. Because now I've got all those mutagens. Now I have like the healing potions, and so it seems she'll be good. And of course, both my weapons are now +1 striking. So
Yeah, that would have been the big thing that I would have wanted, but since I have it, I'm not sure I need anything.
I mean, there might be an armor rune. Is that a thing? Something that might help with tumbling or something like that. I could
Oh,
see,
yeah, that's a
especially if you're looking to do that more with your new feet.
really good call. I'll look into that right now.
Here too, armor property runes. So there's slick. Oh no, that's slippery. That's probably just for yeah for escaping and squeezing. Oh, and I see that all the property runes are level 5 and above, so those would all be orders from Absalom, which is no problem, but it would just take a little longer. So I guess we don't need to
Gotcha.
figure this out now because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
would take a few days. But you might want to keep that in mind and
yeah. I'll look through them.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll deduct the money for the rune transfer. Do we get discount for rune transfer too?
Yep.
Okay.
It's services rendered at a 10% discount. Which runes were you looking to transfer?
Well, he's going to basically transfer whatever is on his Warhammer, which is +1 in striking, onto the newly acquired flick mace.
Okay. Hey, you want to tell the party what's strapped to your waist as you enter
Uh, I,
the
I think
the
there's a
tavern?
picture. Let me find that. Uh,
Mhm.
Hmm.
So how does that work? Can you describe it?
so it's like it's a big bludgeoning tool, but it also has it's tied to a chain, so you can use it to hit things farther away.
So it gives you reach, and it also has the sweep property. So what is the sweep
Sweep
property?
is if for your second attack, if you choose a different target, then you get a +1 circumstance bonus.
Nice.
Oh, it's a retractable flail.
Pretty
Kinda.
much.
Hmm.
Mm. Okay.
It's a ball and cup toy.
Hmm.
It's
It's
a
a
what?
what?
A ball and cup toy.
Oh,
It reminds me of that.
Oh,
I forget what it's called. The kendama. That's what it's called. Which
Kendama.
isn't quite the
Ye-
ball.
yes,
Yeah, have you heard of this
except violent.
kendama?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah, violent kendama.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're right. That's pretty good. All right. So it's a Sunday. Um,
well.
I guess. Oh, right. You said you wanted to like get all those runes transferred and maybe take a day in town, and then we'll skip ahead to the next day. Is that right?
yep.
I suppose so. So
Okay. So we're all fully rested and restored.
And just in case, Ottardo would put in an order for those either the schematics or the actual shield augmentation with the expedited option if possible.
Okay. Where are we? Our allocations. Valentine's deliveries. Yes. So delivery can be expedited to arrive in 2 days. Okay. I'll put that on you to keep track of that. So in 2 days' time. It's an additional gold piece per. So
Yeah.
up to one bulk is 1 gold, and then okay, you got that. I'll trust you to manage the economics of that.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Anything else, or should we head back to the vaults?
Well, I'm seeing nobody else doing shopping. If you don't mind, Ottardo will go for a lifting belt, which will allow him to carry a little more things and also make him better at athletics.
it's good.
Lucca would appreciate that.
Hmm. And
Yep.
so much.
He'll hand you his what were those called? The batons or whatever. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'll deduct that too.
I see that's another invested item. I'm sure the sheet tracks that too, but make sure that you keep an eye on the number of invested
Mhm.
items on your character. Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Well, Soma maybe will take a bottle of brandy from the cook's nook to go. But that's about it.
All right. Second here. Okay. So where do you want me to place you? Which level do you want to go?
Well, we got the password to the murder corridor, but we haven't looked into it. Or rather, we have the map, so we know what's where it leads. Is that
You
it?
know the outline, and remember Lucca.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Maybe you weren't here for that, but Lucca was riding a summoned creature through that hallway,
All
avoiding.
right. He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
but
yeah.
he sort of zoomed through it quickly. Maybe we can go there and take our time to search the
Yep.
place.
Sounds good. And maybe as you discuss this, that's the reason why Lucca is like, oh well, I guess I'll meet you a little later then. I've
Mhm.
seen that part of the vaults. Here we go. Arena level activate. Carnage, you're still loading maybe? I don't see you
yes, I'm still
appear
loading.
here. Okay. All right. Looks like nobody has a light source yet.
Well, we can make it. We have plenty of ways to do that. Yeah, and it's still loading.
All right. Yeah, I guess you Huffcam indeed has left. When you check on him in his room, and he's taken all of the various neatly stacked papers that he had spent quite some time organizing with him.
Well, maybe we can just take a look in that room, see if.
Left anything behind?
Mhm.
Sure. And yeah, well, you search the room rather casually, I would assume, or are you gonna like turn everything upside down? Okay, I'll see.
Well, we have at least two spellcasters. I
No.
think we will be very interested in looking through his papers.
Like I said, he actually took them with him, so
Mm.
there's pretty much nothing left that seems valuable.
Then it will take a
And
very little
yeah,
time.
indeed, yeah. So Ottardo, you would think that he did a thorough job. There's really nothing of interest left.
Okay. Well, time to go not be murdered by blades.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he gave us the password, but not when or where to use it.
No, he explained it to you that there's a passphrase that you have to say before you enter that larger hall at the end of the hallway with all the pressure plates.
Okay. Soma?
Yes, I'm still loading.
Ah, okay.
Still loading? I think you might want to refresh then because it
Oh no,
shows
I
that
will
you're
be
already
loading
here.
even longer. No.
Okay.
No. I already uh, I already see you're moving, so I'm not that far away.
Okay, well, we can assume that Soma is behind.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Well, I
I'll
guess.
just.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. By the way, are we still stupefied? Can anyone hear me?
You notice like as you move the display case away, you notice that inscription that I think you had noticed at the time too, which says "They are watching you," carved in one of the wooden
Oh,
sides of this case.
Creepy.
Oh, thank God I can hear you again.
and we can
Hey,
hear you.
Yeah, this is why someone drinks, because I can't.
Well, is there? Let me double check the handouts. Is there anything else on this level that we haven't explored?
This is not. Yeah, this is not the lab level, right? I think we did explore, but I don't 100% remember.
Oh, I think
no,
there is one space remaining we haven't checked out. I'm assuming there's some sort of secret door there. If you check the drawing, it's in the bottom left corner. There's a little viewing area.
um, no, you've been there.
I think we've been there. Yeah. Isn't
That's
this
the
Oh,
it?
yeah, it's dark for me. Maybe you were there when Ottardo wasn't
Ah,
around.
yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Ah, okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I think that was
well,
when Lucca was really adamant about exploring every nook and cranny of this level,
okay.
which is a
Uh,
fair thing. But yeah,
yeah. Well, I think we're done with this level.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, which way shall we go down?
Good question. There's a couple of staircases. You could go down. I mean, I don't think you've activated an teleporter at the next level down, did you? I don't think so.
I don't remember, but if we didn't, then we will.
Well, first you gotta find it. I don't think you have yet.
Mm.
Um, let's see. So you have the big spiral staircase in the north. You have the smaller staircase going down from the what's called labeled as staging area. I think that goes down. Yes. And I think and you could take the stairs down to the arena floor from the viewing gallery because the
I
arena
think,
floor is a level below.
yeah, I think we're gonna wait for Luca to be here for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where else do you want to go? Oh, and I guess as you walked through this corridor, you also passed this one room that was filled with this black sludge.
I think.
Remember?
Yes, I think we decided not to bother it like last time.
Yeah, I think Ottardo had pointed out that that's so-called black pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. I guess we could go for the main staircase, the spiral thingy.
Okay, I think we
yeah.
right. We were. I think we are about to see those elementals, right? Well, we weren't about to see them, but it's something that we can take a look at.
So you want to go
Yeah,
down the main stairs?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. We'll move you here. Activate the next level. And remove. I need to remove your tokens here. And put you onto the staircase.
And creepy music.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Uh, so I think we were saying, Carnes, you were saying elementals?
I think so. Yeah.
We could go take care of them while Lucca's not here, maybe.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think.
Well,
I think he was
remember
about
that.
to. I think he was about to research the ways to dismiss elementals peacefully, so we can.
Oh,
Uh, so we can help him here with violence.
Yeah.
Uh, by the way, I want to. I think I will change my marching activity while we're doing this.
Your exploration activity?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Well, I think there is an option to just keep casting a spell. So while we are going, someone will keep her summon instrument active in the mode of summon ensemble, which lasts only 1 minute. So it will have she will have to recast it frequently.
What's the spell called?
Summon ensemble. I will.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll click on it when the scene loads in. Yeah, because I want to have it ready for in case of a fight, and it costs free actions to cast. So It is easier to keep it casted constantly like this.
Hello, Carnis. Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Yes, Discord almost died again.
Unfortunate.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Oh, there you are.
hopefully it will be the last time today.
Okay.
So
Hang on. All right. So you move into this area here, and you had already seen that through the transparent stone from the spiral staircase. You would notice the mossy walls and the pebble-strewn cavern that extends upwards 30 feet high. So much through and clearly more of a natural cavern. Um, you see that wide, rounded window 15 feet above that overlooks the cavern. So that's the other side of the transparent stone. You hear water dripping and echoing from the east. And it's surprisingly, like with all that moss on the wall, this is a surprisingly a vital area compared to all of the otherwise dead seeming parts. As you step in here, from between the rocks and the moss, a couple of creatures emerge. And let me just show you what they look like. So at first, these hound-like creatures walk, or like kind of like peek their heads out, and they tilt their heads, and they move back and forth. And at first, just one of them steps out and just growls slowly, but then starts barking like bark, bark, bark. And two other creatures of the same kind kind of come slinking out from between the rocks and the moss. And then there's a big pile of rocks, as you thought, that kind of starts shifting. Like there's like a couple of pebbles are starting to roll off, and then the entire pile keeps shifting and moving, and then rises up to this humanoid shape
okay.
Oh boy.
that kind of looks like it's made like it's a humanoid made of earth and gravel, and it's like rising up, taking a second to look around, looks at those hound-like beings that are barking at you and yapping, and it then looks at you and just kind of like blows its non-existing nostrils. And why can you move, Soma? That's weird. The game should be paused. You shouldn't be able to move.
uh, I'm still following Augrael, so I mean I can't actually like do anything myself because everything is still very laggy. So yeah,
Okay,
everything
so
that
maybe
is happening by inertia.
I
I
must
see.
have caught up. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, so that's what happens, and I'm just gonna roll initiative here because this is they're clearly pretty threatening, or trying to be threatening, and we'll see how this plays out. Where's my encounter? There it is, and all three of you go in there, and I'll just roll for everyone because there's no special skill here. we need to consider. All right, let's begin the encounter. Okay, like I said, that giant pile of rocks that just rose up from the dirt. Looks over at what the dogs or hounds are barking at, spots you, and decides. Hang on. Mm. Yeah, it decides to come running up, and it at first it takes like a step or two over the ground, but then it kind of dives forward and dives headfirst into the rock and the soil,
Oh no.
and just kind of disappears for a little bit, and then keeps moving. How far am I now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 2 of its move actions. And then with its third action, it just kind of like bursts up from the ground and immediately tries to slam into Ottardo. Striking you with a 31. And it's just pure force. Good old-fashioned bludgeoning damage as it strikes you for 22 points. Okay, and Ottardo just gets almost like knocked off his feet, I would assume. And here we go. So then what's interesting though, I'll say, is that as it jumps up from the ground, you see this like this tether that extends from it. It's not a physical thing. It looks more like it's some sort of magical energy that seems to tie it to the ground, not necessarily just to one spot, because as it moves around, so does the anchor point of this tether. It also moves around, but it always stays attached to the room or to the area. And now let's see. So we have one of those dogs after this living landslide came sliding at you. One of the hounds does something similar. It goes and glides through the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One move action, one more, and also just like as if it was swimming through the soil, it jumps up and then comes crashing down, going for the jugular of Ottardo. 24 gets knocked away by Ottardo's shield, and then it's Soma's turn.
Okay. First, let's activate the Inspire Defense on everyone. Then we have to sustain the spell for for the conjured ensemble. Yeah. So as someone makes all those instruments play an encouraging tune that reinforces her comrades, she directs them to obnoxiously float around the rock person. So it will have to give me a will save, please. If it has a will save.
The living landside? I mean,
Yes.
I don't. Okay. Weird today because it doesn't really show me what I have selected. I don't know why. Odd. Will save, you say. Here we go.
Yeah, I think that it works.
Okay.
Yes, so that was...
You mean it makes it safe, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Is that your turn?
I still have one action for which I think Someone will draw a bow because I think this spell configuration actually leaves her hands free.
Okay. And then another one of those hounds. Oh, this is completely weird. Its highlighting is off. Hang on here. What's going on? I think I'll just have to refresh. We'll see what happens. But kind of following its pack instincts, it's also going to dive headfirst into the loose, gravelly soil and come shooting forward, making its way over to Ottardo. And by that, once I get my control back here, I can make that move. Here we are. Where's my counter? There it is. Okay, targeting Ottardo after coming. Oh wait, there we are. Now it's working again too. Shoop, diving into the soil, bursting up from it down here, and striking. 17 is a critical miss, and that was its turn. Augrael.
Okay, Augrael sees all these creatures. I think he's thinking about getting the little guys out of the way first. So he's gonna go 5.
Wait.
Oh, you're following me.
There we go.
He'll move, and then since he doesn't need to identify since it's off guard to him, so because he's flanking, so he will swing his new.
Well,
Yeah, that's a hit.
if a +1 rapier
You like
was,
that, Ed?
A little fast bastard. Nice. Very nice.
yeah,
And honors its name, and
Yeah.
you strike the thing. 13.
And he'll swing one more time with the map. Click. There we go.
That's another hit. And another good amount of damage. Really getting the best out of your positioning here. And catching the creature completely off guard. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but you notice that also these hounds have this sort of ethereal tether that seems to anchor them to this area. Ottardo, your turn.
Ottardo will start by raising his shield. Grab that and put it back. Then he will wait, nope. Say well done, Augrael. And this time he succeeds to enter his stance. And for his last action, he is going to let's target the same creature and get it out of the way.
That's a hit. 18 points. And yeah, you smash it.
And that's the turn.
All right. The last of these hounds jumps also into the soil. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And kind of shows up right from where the other one just went down. And I guess given the pack tactics, it's going to try to attack Ottardo as well, since that is what its buddy is doing. Missing you by almost a critical miss. And then it is the Living Landslide's turn. And it successfully had slammed down on Ottardo last time, so that's what it is going to do again. It doesn't it doesn't seem to know a whole lot of things, but it certainly knows how to strike. That's a miss, and then it follows up with a second one, another miss, and a third critical miss.
Uh-huh.
All right. Then we have one of the hounds that was right next to Ottardo, jumping at you, missing, missing, missing,
Good.
and finally it's Soma's turn.
Okay, so
31 AC is pretty comfortable.
yeah,
Otaro's unkillable.
yeah. Let's keep it that way so we can continue inspiring. Unfortunately, now I have to spend one action to sustain the instruments. Then, uh, well, let's try to shoot the living landslide with striking bow. Come on, let's go. Yes.
Oh, and you land a hit.
Oh, good. Well, that's
And do 9 points of damage, which maybe even a little bit to your surprise, but the arrow drills into the what looks like rock and stone, but it drills into its body nicely and
Oh wow.
uh, seems to hurt it just fine.
well. He's a big
That I
Definitely
target,
believe
so
expected to be resistant or immune or something.
almost feels like an oversight on their
yeah.
part, but it does,
Well,
it's not doesn't
he
have
may
any.
be made of dirt, so it's probably soft tissue there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, all right. Augrael.
You should have gotten a +2 to damage on that attack. I don't know why the automation didn't pick it up.
Where would that have come from?
From the successful stance from
Ah,
Ottardo.
maybe I'm not in your radius. No.
Well,
Oh, the
I don't think
radius is
anyone.
15 feet.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone has that on their token. What is the? It's
Yeah,
Marshall's
is there a way we can add the
stance. Yeah. What is the feat called or the stance?
Dread Martial Stance. I thought I kind of vaguely remembered it applying like for example you see I think it's just something
Yeah,
not working well
now it
because you
appears.
do have
No, I put it on
the
you,
dread
so
word.
you
Okay.
need to pull that on onto your tokens. There's an effect Dread Marshall stance that you should be able to use.
where is it?
I'll paste it in the chat.
Yeah, it
If
should
I
be
Okay,
in
do
perfect.
description. Yeah.
this,
Ah, there we go. Perfect. All right. Augrael's turn. He's gonna keep he's not gonna identify knowledge again. He's just gonna keep utilizing the positioning here, use a move action, and swing on this living landslide.
Okay, well, you have to scramble up there onto that rock, but you can do that just fine.
Okay. And he will swing.
And then, ooh,
Nice.
the
oh,
slightly elevated position gives you the advantage
Very
to.
nice.
There you go, Thomas. Do it.
um.
What?
Wait,
Squawk.
is that right?
It sure can. I mean, you have
Yeah.
four.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I think maybe sneak attack is counted twice. No, I think it is counted twice.
yeah,
Okay, that makes more sense. But
but
where?
it does get doubled, doesn't it?
That's what I was
No,
wondering.
like more than doubled because if you see the formula, it's 2 times, and then 2d6 for striking plus 6 is the flat damage plus 4d6, and I think that's two
Okay.
instances
Yes,
of
you're right.
Why?
I don't know.
I
And
think it
even
was.
if you
It
look,
might have been checked off twice.
yeah, if you look at the list at the top of that, the list of
Yeah, yeah,
things, sneak attack is twice.
I see that, but why
Okay,
would
let
it
me do it
go?
again.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
yeah, for some reason it always asks me like on the when I roll the damage, it offers sneak attack twice, and I was like, well, it's a crit, so this time I let it do it. But yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, it's still really good. I don't think that's sneak attack twice either.
No, that's regular, but that's awesome. 50 points. Bam.
Well, you're
Oh,
you're just
and
meant
because
to
of the
murder
trained
it.
martial, it's frightened one.
Yep.
Yep, that enemy is frightened one. So yeah, again, from your slightly elevated position, you bring down your rapier and do a ton of damage, which greatly frightens the elemental creature.
Can it be frightened?
I think you have an action left.
I do. Oh yeah, I do. Uh, I'll, I'm just gonna shield for the last one. I'll.
Oh, also
Yeah,
off.
I don't want to get hit by it.
Okay, and then it's Ottardo's turn.
Ottardo is going to renew raising his shield, and then he will target the landslide with a strike.
Ooh, another crit. Not as amazing of an amount of damage, but still hurts.
And then he's going to try again and miss, and that's his turn.
All right, the two hounds. I mean, the living landslide gets critted left and right here, but I guess they've realized that Ottardo is a walking tin can, so they're gonna step over here, or this one at least is gonna step over there, and go for some uh, easier target. Hits you for 12 points of damage.
Ottardo uses his reaction here.
Okay.
So that grants 9 points of
Resistance.
resistance. Yeah,
Okay.
9 points, and then he is going to use a reaction to lash out at the hound.
That's a hit. And then let's see. I'm gonna roll that damage. Okay, so you lash out at it. You give it a passing swipe, but it doesn't. That doesn't deter it from kind of locking its jaws onto Augrael and trying to knock him off the rock here. So now I'm gonna use its knockdown ability, which means that I get to attempt to crit. I'm gonna try my athletics here, which fails by one thanks to rallying anthem.
Nice.
So he like tries to pull on you, but maybe just a big chunk of flesh comes off your leg. Um, but it's not one that you were particularly attached to, so you're fine.
Hey, I kind of like that. Give it back.
Then we are moving to the living landslide again. No, and I see Anthony has arrived. Anthony, are you with us?
I am. Hello.
Because I think that you'll greatly enjoy what's playing out here.
I was gonna say, what a time to
So-
pick.
Because you had asked everyone, like, or you had told everyone, because they said, like, oh, let's explore that hallway now that we have the pass phrase from Hafgem. And we said that Lucca would probably be like, oh, okay, go ahead. I'll catch up with you later. I've seen that place. There's nothing there. I'm not going to waste my time. That gives me some time to do some business in town. And you weren't far behind, and that was easy enough to catch up to them. But you find yourself standing in this room here with the transparent stone window into the natural cavern. And you look out because you see you saw some movement there, and you catch a glance of the scene that's playing out, which is the rest of the gang fighting the elemental creatures.
He just stares there, looking out through the window for a second, just dumbfounded because it's like, but we could unsummon them. What are they? He just grumbles and starts making his way
We're
downstairs.
helping.
I guess
I'll put you in the initiative here, and we're at the top
we
of the
already
round.
talked about this.
And maybe Augrael, you catch a glance of Lucca like silently. I guess with the mask on, he you can't even see that he's saying.
He was standing up in the window, just looking out
Shake his
sternly.
head. Luca waves
Oh,
dubiously, like very happily.
It's like, we got
as
this.
as he's slicing into the elementals.
Okay, awesome. So the living landslide, I mean, it's an elemental creature. It probably knows that it can't really die here. And just to remind you, all of them had this ethereal-looking tether that attached them to the area. So it really almost seems to have a death wish as it continues to fight. Um, who's it gonna go for? I guess since the Hound is now also attacking Augrael, it's gonna switch targets here, and it's gonna try to also knock Augrael off that rock, striking you
Ooh, I think I can
for.
nimble dodge that, right?
Ooh,
Just
you
going by
mind it?
+1.
Yes, you're right. You all right? So he just slams against the rock that you're standing on, knocking a good chunk out of it. He then follows up with another one. That misses you, and a third one that critically misses you. The other hound, um, yep, jumps up at you and tries to bite you. I think I may have gotten my hounds crossed, but let's not get too upset about that. So misses once, misses twice, misses 3 times, and then it's Lucca's turn.
Um. Yeah. Let's see. So this is just a wall, right? I have to go like all the way around.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will go all the way around.
All right. I'll let you count that out as we move on to Soma.
Well, Thomas, I guess we'll continue helping. So once again, sustain uh, the instruments. Let's ask another will save from this time from this dog.
This one, okay. Do you have a prompt for me, or do I just?
Yeah. Oh, 1 second. I will. Scrolling will be too far. I will repost the spell. Here you go. 22.
22.
What is my DC? It should be down there. I think 22 might actually fail. My spell DC is 25 now.
All right, so it fails. That's what happens. Becomes distracted by your performance, becomes off guard. Got
Yes.
it. Yeah, so maybe everyone sees like that it's kind of like turning around, cocking its head, seemingly listening to the music.
Yes, and for the last action, let's try to shoot this elemental again.
Okay. That's a hit. Look at all of you and your ranged combat options.
All right.
And that arrow is actually hitting it straight into the back, and it collapses in a pile of rocks, and then most of that just kind of disappears as you send it back to its native plane. Oops, I shouldn't have done that, I guess, because now it would have messed with the XP for the encounter, so let me just make it invisible. All right. Then it's Augrael's turn.
August was like, "Hey guys, let's kill him before he comes here, so he doesn't have to do anything." And he'll swing at this creature that is directly in front of him. It is off guard ready, right? Because of Soma's thing. Is that right?
No, this one is off guard here. This one over here is off guard. The one right in front of you is not.
Oh. Oh, okay. You know what? He will just he'll do an recall.
Okay, on the one in front of him. That'll
Yeah.
be Arcana or Nature or I don't know, hound lore or something like that.
I'll do Arcana.
Nice. That's great. Um, so I mean, seeing them behave, diving into the soil like that, as if they could swim through it, they must clearly be from the elemental earth plane. Um, they seem to be really made of packed dirt and pebbles. So they have the elemental and the earth traits. Otherwise, they seem to be, I mean, fascinating, but not too remarkable creatures. Kind of
Okay.
serving the same as like a dog, you would think.
Okay. But that was a success.
Yes, that was almost a critical
Okay,
success.
so he will analyze weakness on it then for another action and then swing on it.
Okay. There's a hit. And
You have double sneak attack.
That's
now it's analyze weaknesses plus 2d6.
No, it's analyze weakness. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
so it's
So
it's
does
a
it
legal
add another 2d6 to it?
Yeah, it does. If I spend an action to like find its weak point, it's another way of, like multiplying sneak attack essentially.
Whoa, an additional 2d6. That's pretty damn cool. All right, so 28 points of damage. Almost kill the creature, but not quite. Ottardo.
all right. Well, there's
Oh,
only
sorry.
one.
I think I skipped an action for Augrael here. Is that right? Because you recall one
I
attack.
did analyze weakness.
Oh, analyze
Uh,
weaknesses an
recall.
action on top of recall.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, sacrifices an attack for a little bit of extra damage. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Ottardo.
Well, Tarlo will try to finish off the creature.
Mm-hmm. And strike it for 14. Oh, I think that was the wrong one. I have to get used to your new reach here. And you just indeed kill it off, and it's similar to the living landslide. It just kind of disappears after you strike it down.
Okay.
yeah, and yeah. At this
And
point, at this
with
point,
that,
Soma will probably lower the boat, turn around to Lucca and say like, "See, we took care of it."
hang on, that's not right. There's still one left here. There you go.
That's the one I think where that you had.
Nope. There was one that you struck
Oh,
down in that square, so you might have seen the skulls.
okay. Okay,
There's
okay.
still one left.
Yeah. Well, he is going to target that one then.
Mm-hmm.
Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he'll finish off with raising his shield.
Okay, and then it's that sounds action, and I mean Ottardo continues to be just a giant uh, tin can. So with Soma shooting arrows around, it's enough of a threat for it to shift its focus here. Take a step and then jump at Soma, striking once, striking twice, and missing both of those strikes. Lucca.
Let's see, 5, 15, 20, 25, 30. Sure. Um, yeah, we'll just stay back here. Luca will take a few steps forward, and then he'll just be like, "Well, I feel like this could have been handled more easily, but he will target and fire."
Ignition. That's a hit.
16 points of
Burn.
fire damage.
Yeah, you burn it quite significantly, but they're also almost like very damp earth and muddy. Um, doesn't go down that easily. Soma.
Well, Soma distracted herself, so when the the dog tries to bite her, she yelps and takes a step away, like for one action. Then she will turn around and try to shoot it point blank in the face.
Indeed. Critical hit. That is point blank to the face.
Uh huh.
23 points of damage, and it's frightened.
Good. Yeah, and I think at this point she will just raise the shield herself. Or no, wait.
Okay.
Ca- ca- wait a second. Cancel that. I still have. No, never mind. Raise the shield. Yes.
Okay. Augrael.
All right, Gabriel will go and try and finish off this last poor prisoner pup. Uh, he will swing on it.
That's a hit. That's
Oops,
6.
that's not. It's not Anai's weakness.
It
Let
would
me
be
reroll.
7. No, that's fine. That's
Okay.
just subtract the 2d6 here. So that's well, maybe we can't. No, it's just 7 points then for the first one.
Yeah.
Plus 6. Plus 6, so that's 13. That's enough to kill it either way. So I'll take that damage, and you bring that one down. And just like the others, as it goes down, it starts kind of crumbling and fading away, and then it's gone. That's a whooping 40 XP for everyone.
Yay.
Yay!
He just turns around the corner and gives his thumbs up to Lucca. We did it without you.
Good job.
Exactly. Now see you. So you starting to behave like a real leader here.
It rather seems as if you've created more work for yourselves than necessary, but, well, I suppose, brute forcing your way through every situation is fine as well.
You also see like a large chunk of flesh that's been ripped out of Augrael's shin.
Yes, you've really handled yourselves spectacularly.
All right, as you continue to explore this area, I mean, a lot of it you had already seen from above through that transparent stone window, and you come to the shoreline of this deep pool. It drops off quite steeply, and you look up, and there are several stalactites. There are also 5 square shafts in the stony ceiling that lead upward. You've seen this also from the walkway to the south that you can also see or make out from here. There's a short, well, no, that's all the way then around the corner, so you haven't seen that yet. And the water is just incredibly dark, so it must be quite deep.
Do I need to? I don't imagine I need to breathe.
I don't think so.
How do the
It's
what
not
does it say?
actually listed under basic undead benefits, but
Seems like you should not have to do
seems
that.
like an undead thing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to breathe.
Okay.
It's like if there was like a gas or something, we would say you would still inhale it, and for lack of a better word, but you don't literally need to consume oxygen.
In that case, Lucca just well, he doesn't have dark vision, so I guess he's not going to see much anyway. But Just peek his head in
All right.
to the
So
water.
you step
I
up.
stick the ever burning torch in there too.
Okay. So you step up to the rocky shoreline with the ever burning torch, kind of like moving it out a little bit so that its light falls properly into the dark depth of the pool. And there's the faintest twinkle that's in the water. So you kind of like strain your eye sockets to see what exactly it is, and then there's a couple more, and you become even more interested. Like maybe there's some sort of treasure. Is this coins that are reflecting the light, or what is that? And then something comes into view up from the dark waters, and at first it looks like a giant eel, and then you notice like, oh no, this is not just this. It's not just one eel. This is maybe like a pack of eel. And then you notice that all of those things are actually fused to a large body, and you realize that you have attracted the attention of a hydra
Oh boy.
that is quickly swimming up from the depth and towards you. Uh, let's see how long you'll survive that. I'm gonna highlight everyone, put you on that hunter, and since nobody mentioned anything about trying to play this stealthily, I'm gonna assume that we're just gonna roll perceptions.
Lucca will pull his skull out of the water and say, "Hey everyone, look what I found!"
Yeah, the water quickly starts foaming and
He'll
bubbling.
say, he'll say, "I found a lot more XP."
All right, so okay. Let me figure this out here.
Of course, it's first. They're always first.
Okay. Um. Yeah, so I guess that explains. I mean, remember a long time ago when you were in the room above this one, and there were these way above this one, and there were these little creatures that were bouncing around a lot, the bouncing
Yes.
Gitka, and one of them actually fell through that shaft, and you saw like churning
Yeah.
waters, and then like something huge that dove into deeper into the water. So there's your explanation for that. And I guess if that hadn't happened, then those things might still be happily sleeping at the bottom and would have been much harder to raised from their slumber. Just to rub it in a little. No, just to give you a sense that that's actually pretty nice in this adventure. That what you do has an impact beyond the individual combats. It's just not always very obvious. So I thought it might make sense to point it out. Okay, so the Hydra. Um, its curiosity piqued by the light and the disturbance in the water comes swimming up. I'll say it'll take it a move action to make it all the way to the top. Let me see its speed. Yeah, that's fair. And now, what do we do? It has some reach. So I'll say it'll swim all the way up here. And okay. That was one action I said. So now it has two actions to unleash a storm of jaws, and it'll make a number of strikes up to its number of heads. How many heads does it start with? 5. Fine. So each against a different target. So it has a reach of 10. So I think Soma is still within reach for natural range. Is that still the case? Is that still how that works? Anybody know that? I think so.
So sorry, what was the question?
Creatures with natural 10-foot reach do the. How about diagonals? So is Soma within reach here?
I think 10. Yes, it's at 15 that it starts being weird.
Okay. So like I said, so it bursts through the water. You see all of its 5 heads and all of their glory, and then they just kind of like come lashing out in a storm of jaws. We'll start with Lucca as it strikes at you. They count towards the map, but the map doesn't increase until all of their attacks. So this is a hit for 13 points of damage. Then we'll attack Soma with another hit for 12 points of damage. And then we'll attack Ottardo, who gets critically missed. And that is the Hydra's turn. But unfortunately, it's not the only Hydra. A second one appears in, in the back of the pool. So that's one move action for it to get there, and then it's a second move action to swim here. And the two of them are kind of fighting at each other. You can see their heads kind of like hissing at each other as they're competing for food here, which fortunately puts you just outside of reach of this Hydra. With its second action, and then with its what are we gonna do with its third action? Does it have any way to increase its rage? No. Okay. So I guess you'll just see that it's like kind of like starting to squeeze past the other one to get within reach of the tasty snacks that are lining themselves up on the shore. Ottardo.
Uh, so you said that the drop off from the shore to the water is deep, right? Or not?
Yeah, water drops off very quickly.
So
So it's
it's
not
the
like
water.
it's not a shallow beach. It's like it's a steep drop off, but it's not
Uh,
far to the surface of the water, if that's what you're
okay.
asking.
No, the question is more like how easy would it be for them to get on land?
They could certainly do that. That's very. I mean, if they can maneuver on land, then they could easily pull themselves out of this pool.
Okay. All right. Well, Ottardo. Um,
Forgot to give you a nice view of them, though.
mm, Ottardo will mention that we should back up a bit just so that they don't drag anybody down to the water. And he'll attempt to enter his stance, which succeeds. And I'm just going to move the token just because I think that's what's going to reapply the effect on the others. Oops,
But everybody's
sorry.
following you.
What
You're
have you
just a
done?
just a natural leader. Can't help it.
You have led them to their doom, is what you've done. Straight into the water.
It's strange that it did not because I was looking at bugs and I think this is a bug that's mentioned where this effect is not applied as an aura because you see the other one, the purple thing, it did get
Mhm.
applied correctly as an
Yeah.
aura, but that doesn't matter. So I'll just put it in the chat, and you
Mhm.
can drag that onto your tokens. He will raise his shield, and for his final action, he will uh, strike out at let's say this one.
And Anthony, for your information, that thing that Sam posted to the Discord chat, that's his new weapon. The flick mace. All right, so you strike out with a 28, which is a hit, and you do some damage here. Let me double check something. Da-da-dum. Uh, okay, I don't fully understand how this is supposed to work, but I think we'll be okay. 14 points. Okay, yeah. So you hit your flick mace into the face of one of the heads as it comes shooting towards you, and you smash it badly. You see it's like the skull is shattered. One of the eyes has popped out. Most of the teeth are broken. It's looks terrible. Do you have an action left?
No, that's 3.
Okay, then it's Lucca's turn.
Lucca is going to say, "Yes, we ought to back up, but a bit further to the bottleneck." And he is going to indeed back away and hopefully not provoke an attack of opportunity. Did they ever fix the measuring thing? Is that still an issue?
No, that's still an issue. It's supposed to be built in, but it doesn't seem to be working quite right. But before you run away, as you move away from the Hydra right here, it actually has an attack of opportunity.
I was afraid of that.
It'll get a strike at you. Let me strike. Here we go. That's a hit for 16 points of damage.
Ottardo
Oh,
will use his reaction. Okay, it's that one. So that's resistance 9 to this damage, and he will strike.
Okay. You strike and you bash another one of those heads pretty severely. Although not quite as bad as the first one. I take that damage here.
okay, and then Lucca will back off. I guess he's no longer in that dread martial stance. But what he will do, it's already injured, unharmed. He will. Let's give the new floating flame thing a try. I think it may actually have been this way even just from the remaster, not alone, let alone from the whole. Yeah, I think it might have been like this before, but I think we never really accounted for it properly. But oh wait, it's only 30 feet away. I think I might have just screwed myself. Yeah, never mind. Okay, I won't do the floating flame because it's too far away. Ooh, but you know what? May actually help. How does this interact with the water? I have no idea. I guess this is up to you, Simon. I'm gonna cast it and we'll see what it does. If I put it here, I guess the skeletal hands actually follow the contour of the ground. So I don't know if if it's a huge creature, I don't know if they're still able to reach it, but at least it'll make part of the shore difficult terrain and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the right idea. It's like they're reaching out from all of the solid surfaces in that area, just not
Right.
from the water. Yeah. Okay, so it has to make a basic reflex. Fails.
Wow.
So they
So it
start.
is 7 points, and then I have this. I'm still trying to get my head around the sorceress power because it deals additional damage, but only under certain circumstances, and it's kind of weirdly circumstantial. When you cast a spell from your spell slots that either deals damage or restores hit points, you gain a status bonus of the spell's damage or healing equal to the spell's rank. This applies only to the initial damage or healing the spell deals when cast. Any additional creature that takes this damage or benefits from this healing, an individual can only be affected once. Okay, so it's basically just a one-time thing. So it should take an additional 3 points of damage because it's a third rank spell.
Okay. So all of those skeletal hands come out of the cliff face and whatever solid surfaces are available, and they reach out and they start slashing away at the creature's body. And I believe that's your turn.
That's my turn.
And Augrael. Maybe you're muted. Whoa, what was that? I don't. I can't hear you, so I'm not sure if I'm the only one.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, now we hear you.
Okay, good. So he'll back up, seeing that Lucca had backed up. He'll do a recall knowledge on these creatures.
Okay, that'll be Arcana Nature or some kind of beast lore or similar.
Okay, I'll do.
Ooh, nice one. Yeah, hydras, horrible creatures, terribly dangerous. Well known for two things. One is that they regenerate very quickly, and the other thing is that the only way to stop their regeneration is to cut off their heads. But as you cut off a head, two heads grow in its place. So the only way to stop that from happening is to cauterize the wound after you slash one of its heads off. So you need some sort of acid or fire effect applied to the stump after you cut off a head. Otherwise, they will just continue to regenerate with a pretty large number, and it'll take quite some time to wear them down. You can ask me 2 questions about their statistics.
Any immunities?
No immunities.
Okay. Never know what to ask. Weaknesses?
Other than, well, actually, I'll give you that the heads, but only the heads, are weak to slashing.
Okay.
Oh, and I
Cut off
should
their heads and.
sorry, I should have also told you that the heads are immune to area damage, which is a little weird because the body isn't, but the heads are.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's weird.
That way-
Cut off their heads and then cauterize the wounds.
That way you can't just fireball all the heads at once.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so that was action 2. What's your action 3?
He'll just hmm. He'll just shield here.
Okay, Soma.
Just as my turn comes, my browser decides to freeze again. I think it works now. Okay, for one action we'll have to produce my backup flute from one of her pockets or backpack or somewhere. Then.
So that's a manipulate action, is that right?
Yes.
So that will trigger another attack of opportunity because yes, they have multiple ones.
Well,
It's
that
another
really-
head that lashes out, but
Yeah.
it critically misses.
Yeah, good. That's good for her. Okay, then we'll try to uh, uh, optimize Sir Ottardo. So we'll do lingering composition.
Concentrate, focus. Okay.
Yes, to make. Let's see. No, never mind. It doesn't work. So
Wait, but your next action is to cast a cantrip composition. So does that have the manipulate trait too?
no.
Because lingering composition is a free action, but then what's the actual action
My
here?
actual action would be to inspire courage because.
So does that have the manipulate trait as a
doesn't
cantrip?
It's just it's just music.
Well, it's the action, right? Cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that?
Yeah, but casting a spell depends on the components or whatever.
Yeah, the spell will say.
Oh, that's it. If it requires an auditory performance, you might recite a poem and perform a drama. If it's visual, has a new composition. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just verbal.
I don't know. Okay. Mm-hmm.
or auditory as they call it nowadays. So, yeah, I am inspire courage on Ottardo, well, on everyone, and then Soma runs away.
And that triggers another attack.
Yep, I know.
Yet another head, and that's the hit. For 15 points of damage as it bites you in the behind as you run off. All right, and then it's the first Hydra's turn, and you see, as I've said, like Ottardo had smashed some of its heads. Both of those heads almost completely regenerate. Let me see what we have here. Yes. And then, okay, Ottardo with Age. It is going to do a forced assault. So it is going to attack all of its attacks onto Ottardo, targeting you, and now basically all of the heads just come like snapping at you in wild succession, trying to bite you. And we'll see what happens. So attacks a single target with its heads. The Hydra strikes with its fangs, and successful Hydra does damage from its fangs strike to the target, plus an additional d6 for every head it has beyond the first. Even on a failed attack. Okay, so it's just a single strike, I guess.
That deals a ton of damage if it hits.
That
Yikes.
deals
Yeah.
a ton of damage. Yep. So, but that's a critical miss. So then, with its third action, it's just going to do a regular attack. This counts towards the Hydra's multiplies the number of attacks equal to the number of heads the Hydra has. Okay. So
Well,
even it's only just one strike. Yeah. So you're putting all of it into that one roll.
Mm-hmm.
But even on a failed attack, the Hydra deals the damage from one strike to the target creature, though it still misses completely on a critical failure. So it's a critical miss, so it misses completely. So okay, so I guess from the distance to you, it looks like the thing is just must be tearing Ottardo apart. Maybe even swallow whole. He completely disappears in this like barrage of Hydra heads, and then as the creature finally lets up its relentless assault, Ottardo just stands there, on his shield scratched, his armor scratched. Like he's wet from all of the splashing water, but completely unharmed. It's ridiculous. And I guess it'll do one half-hearted -10 critical miss. Yep. All right, the
I
other
just want to
Hydra.
say quickly, thank you for not saying that he's wet from all the Hydra saliva.
Yeah.
Well, you can't tell really from a distance, but that might be the real reason. Um, all right, so the other Hydra is, I mean, they're instinctual. They can't deal with somebody that has just epic level AC. They can't fathom that. So I'm going to say it's going to do a forced assault as well and strike or try to strike once, just a regular miss, which means you still take failed attack deals the damage from one fang strike to it. So it's just one damage here. Just you take 13 points. Even though Tardo's armor is apparently not perfect. And then it's also going to do one feeble final miss. Okay, and then Ottardo, it's time to strike back.
Um, in what order does he do this? I think Ottardo will start by raising his shield. Yeah. He will. To think. You know what? He'll do his new thing. He'll do his defensive advance. Uh, yeah, which means he raises his shield. He strides over to here.
Okay, triggering an attack of opportunity first from the one down here. Strike. Oh, that's a hit. Doing 11 points of damage. And the other one is going to try that too, but critically missing. Okay, proceed.
And as part of that, he gets to make a strike, which he will take and miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then for his remaining action, he is going to back up next to the others.
All right, which triggers another attack of opportunity from this one, which is a hit. Sorry, I hadn't targeted you.
Yep.
Another 11 points of damage. And then it's Lucca's turn.
Lucca is going to sustain. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to move it or if I'm happy with it where it is. I think I will leave it where it is for the time being. So this one guy here will have to save against it again.
Okay. That out. Good that that's a recurring thing. There it is. Pop out. Reflex. Succeeds.
So I believe he takes half of the 2d6, which I forgot to pop it out before, so now I gotta find it.
I can actually roll that right here.
Here, I got it. Oh, or you can roll it.
Uh,
Half of that.
I think you can put an extra 2 points on there.
Why?
Ottardo
Thanks
came
to-
close, so he is in
Mm,
his aura.
yeah, but the okay.
It,
Is that
it,
how that works?
it's a status bonus to damage rolls.
Oh,
Okay.
it's I've got Courageous Anthem. Damn it, is that from?
No.
No, wait, that's from.
I'll just put it again. I'll put
Well,
it
what?
in the
It's a
chat.
status damage, right?
Yeah, status bonus to damage.
And how
You
much
can
is
drag
bonus?
it's a +2.
Okay, so then it's only another additional one, right? Because isn't Courageous
Si-
Anthem also a status bonus? Wrong.
Uh,
If it's a
yeah.
circus.
Yes. You're right.
Okay. So I take one back.
So add one more whole damage on there.
Done.
Yeah. Okay. So 9 points, but it's difficult terrain, which is the main to keep going. And then I guess I will just try to spook it with the little intimidation.
Okay.
Where target it and intimidate. I give it a mean look.
34. Well, it appears to be impressed. Confused, maybe. But enough to be slight. I believe there's a macro for doing that if you want to
Oh,
use
is there?
that, because that will make it easier. Oh, do the counting, yep.
And then I am going to use my last action to just continue backing up a little bit further, just trying to get on the other side of this bottleneck.
Because I realized I think you actually critically succeeded here, so
Frightened 2.
that should be frightened too. Yep. All right. Augrael.
Um, what is Augrael? I mean, he's not gonna run up there. Hmm.
Patience, they shall come.
Yeah, he's just gonna back up and
Although they're only going to come as far as Ottardo, to be fair.
true. Hmm. Actually, maybe he'll just delay here. He's just gonna delay.
Okay.
Or does that make? Yeah, he'll delay.
Soma.
All right.
Soma.
Yes. Since the courage doesn't stack with with Dread Marshal, we'll switch it back into Rallying Anthem, Inspired Defense, and I'll once again try to make it sustainable lingering. So lingering composition declared first. Performance check. No, never mind then. But well, we still cast the Inspire Defense on everyone, including Sir Ottardo. Then Souma will take her flute into her teeth and try to give Sir Ottardo first aid. I'll treat wounds on him with battle medicine for one action.
All right.
Yep,
You don't need an action to bring out your healer tools.
I am wearing them, so I suppose not.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Oh,
Critical
good.
success.
Nice.
Nice. And that's only a 10-minute period of immunity. Great. Okay, that's your turn.
No, I still
All right,
have
the
one action.
Hydras.
I still have one action left.
Okay then.
Yeah, and yeah, in this case, I will just move also backwards.
All right. The two Hydras, the one that got frightened by Lucca, you can see that it kind of hesitates, which the other one exploits and like squeezes past it, pulls itself up onto the shore, traversing the difficult terrain here, so it'll be one action to get just here. And then it won't like getting slashed at by all of those reaching skeletal hands. So it's going to slither further than it has to, just to make sure that it's out of that range. So that's its second action. And then with its third action, it's going to try to take a chunk out of Ottardo, but missing. The other one seeing that
Can I go now that I delayed, since I delayed?
Sure, yeah, you can go after it. Absolutely. I'll move you.
Okay, he is going to stride up next to Ottardo and take a swing at it. And I don't know if I have to specify. I definitely wants to try and, since he knows he needs to take a head off, try and take a head off.
Okay. That's a hit.
Okay, no analyze weakness, but there is sneak attack. Okay.
25 points of damage. Yes, indeed. Like you let's say you in quick succession, like you would just hammer your rapier into its neck, essentially like perforating it, and then with your final movement, you kind of like flick it in a weird way, spinning it around, and you hear a sickening crack, and one of the heads come falling off, revealing a stump that just kind of flails around, spraying blood everywhere. So that removes one of the heads. Okay. And you have an action left, I think?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna swing again at a different head. He doesn't. He knows. He sees these things like chomping at his friends when they try to move away, so he's not particularly fond of running back. So he'll just swing again.
And you miss. Okay. So the other Hydra, seeing its partner here taking a couple of bites from its food, it's not going to like that, despite being frightened. It, first of all, you see it heal, and then it'll move on 1, 2, so that'll be one move action because of the difficult terrain. Second move action to get over here, and then with its third move action, it's going to try to get that Ottardo. That's hers. That's not the other ones. But critically misses. Ottardo, your turn. You see on the Hydra that has the flailing stump, you see these like weird sort of sacs starting to form, two of them, like kind of like they look a little bit like a boil of some kind, and it's starting to quickly fill with something.
Well, I think Ottardo has to start by casting Lay on Hands,
Mm-hmm.
which may or may not trigger
It
a reaction.
sure does by both of them. So we have an attack of opportunity from here, which is a critical miss, and an attack of opportunity from here, which was the wrong,
Nice.
but it's still a miss because of Rallying Anthem.
Yes.
Good job, Soma.
Okay, so there was one action, and then he is going to target the creature that seems to be frightened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's going to swing at it.
Yep. So you strike, but you just strike the creature itself. Is that how you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not going for one of the heads. Okay. So you're striking it for 15.
And for his last action, he'll raise his shield and call out to Lucca, "Fire, quick!"
And then it's Lucca's turn.
I was already going to do that.
You
Then
both
he
completed.
will-
It's okay.
he will try to throw an ignition down because if I understand correctly, the floating flame wouldn't technically work because it's technically area, right?
Yeah.
Area damage.
Yeah.
Because it's a 5-foot cube, so I have to hit him with ignition. Okay.
And I guess the
All
way
right.
to
Well,
rationalize is that they can move their stump pretty quickly, whereas you can only move the flame very slowly. I guess that's the idea.
sure. Okay. Yeah. I get it. It's a rules thing. It makes sense. I guess the first thing I do is thank you. I will first sustain the spell to bring my my rousing skeleton hands or my roused skeletons over here. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I'd rather not catch Ottardo in them.
Okay, so the first one misses or fails. The other one crit succeeds. I'll roll the damage I have
Okay.
here. So this one takes half of that damage.
And it really is just that 9. So
it takes 4. And
well, it failed, so it takes full, right?
4, right?
The critical success takes none.
Yep,
The
yep.
failure takes full.
Of course. Yeah, so I take half again here. Nope, that's not right because I should have taken. Come on. Not as hard as I'm making it. Okay, so we'll just take full damage. There you go.
Right. And then I will try to blast the stump of
Okay.
the other guy to the south.
Okay, let's see that spell.
Target and cast. Come on. Hey, there we go.
Nice.
You critically hit it. Okay, so you blast that stump, and it basically like it burns those 2 sacks as well as cauterizing the wound, and you see these tiny little half-formed hydra heads, 2 of them, just quickly like burning off in the flames. So that's permanently.
Because that was critical, that'll be 26 damage. That 13 is just the normal, and it will have the persistent fire damage on it. D4 persistent fire damage.
Let's see. So, Creature can attempt to sever one of the Hydra's heads, but specifically targeting it and dealing damage equal to the head's hit points. The head that is not completely severed. The head can regrow. Severed head creature can prevent this by dealing acid damage to the stump. Single target acid or fire effects need to be targeted at a specific stump, but effects that deal splash damage or affect areas covering the Hydra's whole space cauterize all stumps if they deal acid or fire damage. Okay, so I should have read that more closely because it's like it's not immune to all area damage apparently.
It's if the area damage covers the whole space of
Yeah.
the Hydra.
Yeah,
Okay, I
so
don't
it
think
has
I have
nowhere to
any.
go, basically. So, and then if the attack that severs a head deals any acid or fire damage, the stump is cauterized instantly. If all 5 heads are cauterized, the Hydra dies. But it doesn't say anything about what to do with the overflow damage. Um, I mean, I guess it only makes sense that the whatever excess damage is then applied to the creature itself. So I'm going to do that. All right.
And the persistent.
Oh, right. Is there a macro for that?
It's in the spell. There's a thing to drag out.
Leveled persistent fire damage. Here we go.
Oh, it's leveled. Holy crap! That's 44 persistent fire. Okay, awesome.
That makes a big difference with the cauterizing. That's pretty awesome. Oh, actually, this is gonna be painful, I think. But we'll see. So that was their turn. And
Yep, that was my turn.
Okay. Uh, I'm just gonna spam lingering performance until it sticks. Because if every time I fail, my focus points are not expelled, so I can just do it. So perform. There we go. That's exactly my DC. So now the defense buff will stick for 3 rounds.
Nice.
Yeah, she still casts Inspire
You're
Defense.
very quiet now. Maybe you need to adjust your mic.
Yes, sorry, my mic was upward. So yeah, Inspire Defense for 3 rounds now, since my lingering composition finally landed. And well, let's try to just contribute to the festivities. Someone will target this one with the lower Hydra with telekinetic projectile. And I think I will try to, well, target a head with a slashing one, since if we were directed by Augrael with this. I'm not sure what exactly this what form this will take, but if push comes to shove, I can sacrifice one of my daggers for this.
I'm sure there are plenty of sharp rocks
Yeah.
around that you can, like something that just splintered off the ledge and you can send it flying.
Never mind, I miss.
But it misses. That's right. All right. So that's your turn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is.
Okay, the Hydra that is currently on fire first heals. It has already lost a head, so it only heals 12 points now. No head regenerates. It's clearly furious and it's on fire. It must be deathly afraid of fire because it certainly knows that it's very susceptible to that. So if it immerses itself in water, that would probably put it out, right?
Yeah, it's in the rules for persistent damage. That says the GM can determine that certain things might like either greatly aid in the recovery check or extinguish the persistent damage completely. So that's at your discretion.
Okay, I'm gonna say it'll do a fighting retreat here. So it'll, as it moves back, essentially before it does so, it lashes out at Augrael once with the strike fair. There you go. Just some
Yep.
parting damage.
Ottardo will react to that.
Okay.
So you get resistance 9, and he will take a swing. Well, this time at uh, one of the heads.
Okay. Go for the head.
And
Yeah.
miss.
That's a miss. And then it strikes out at Ottardo, misses critically, and then moves 1, 2, because it's, I guess there's,
Still difficult terrain.
yeah, the first one for sure, the second one as well, but then the third one should be enough for it to avoid. Actually, the second one should already be enough for it to avoid the difficult terrain, so it's still going to make it into the water. But I'll say it'll take the persistent damage this round, as it's kind of like took that damage over the course of the round, and as it immerses itself in the water, it'll go out. So we'll have the damage here, which is 9, and then it'll automatically succeed as its recovery check is essentially the idea. Whew.
How ridiculous! Water doesn't put out fire. Simon, come on. Just kidding.
Augrael. Really
Yeah, what does
exploiting my
Augrael do
discretion
here?
here, I know.
Let's see. I mean, I think he sees the bones and like the bottleneck. I think he's gonna use his movement to just get back again. And
As you move away, the other one gets an attack of opportunity at you.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
I barely get any and ever, and now I get them every round, and they all miss. Okay, keep moving.
He doesn't have nimble dodge on, but it was anyways. I gotta just uncheck that. But I could have, I guess, if it came to it. He'll move back into the bottleneck and then ready an attack if one comes within distance. Because that's ready, and it's with 2 actions, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's 2 actions, so ready,
Okay.
1 action. Okay, and then it's that Hydra's turn. It's still somewhat rattled from meeting Lucca's glance, but and it also doesn't like getting slashed at by all those hands. So I think it's gonna slither up on top of this rock here. I'm gonna say it's because there's just 1 square of its area that's affected. That's enough for it to avoid the hands altogether right now. And then it's gonna lash out at Ottardo twice. So we have, oh, actually, it has 2 actions, so it's gonna use the focused assault, which means just 1 roll. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, crit misses. So nothing goes through, no damage at all.
You can't hit our tin can.
Indeed, obviously can. And Ottardo, your turn.
Well, Tin Can is going to do his defensive advance again. So he's going to stride back, which will he will raise his shield, stride back, which will trigger an attack, I guess.
Ottardo targeted, rolling an attack and critically missing.
Okay, and as part of that, he will target a head with his strike.
That's a hit. You do 17 points of damage, which means you smash it to bits and pieces, and a bloody stump is left.
And with his last action, he's going to target a second head. And miss.
Idea, Ottardo, I can only cauterize 1 head at a time. 1 head per turn.
And that's a miss. And then it's Lucca's turn.
So there's a stump available.
There's a stump available, yes.
All right, so we'll start off by once again keeping the claws fresh, so to speak. And he'll need to make another save against the damage.
Against the hands, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
Finally,
he takes half of the 2d6.
So that's 5
Mhm.
to the body.
Yep. And then I will try to cauterize again. Let's see if we get lucky. Don't know if I'll get as lucky as last time, but oh, not at
Ooh,
all.
opposite. All right, so you just shoot right past it. And then it
It's
is
moving around too much.
Soma's turn.
Mhm.
Ottardo, hold it down.
Yeah.
Ottardo, this is your fault.
All right.
Gave it too much topspin.
Let's switch our targets to the closest Hydra and try to send sharp telekinetic projectiles into her heads. So
One of the heads, you
yes,
said?
yes.
Okay. That's a hit. Roll for damage. Ooh, wow. Okay, so you
Nice.
send a sharp piece of rock flying, and it cuts clean through one of the creature's necks,
Nice.
and then another head tumbles down to the rocky ground. Nice work. That's your turn, or is there an action left?
I still have an action left, but I I don't really have much ways of spending it with any coherence. I think I can try to battle medicine myself.
Okay. You're very quiet again. I think your microphone is not right.
I don't know this. Uh, my mic seems to be
Seemed okay to me.
on my usual place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay, me too.
Yeah, so someone will try to battle medicine herself to heal a little bit.
I do have Karnas turned all the way up though on Discord, so maybe that's.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's fine. All right.
Do actually.
And you heal yourself a little bit, and you're safely out of reach, so that's no problem. The Hydra's turn. 2 of its stumps flailing around uncauterized, which means there's a chance for a regrowth. So first of all, it regains some hit points, which is at this point it has 3 hits, so it gets 9 points of regeneration. And now, like I said before, there are these kind of sacs forming in both of the stumps that are uncauterized, and they're growing pretty quickly. Let's see what happens here. Regeneration. Remaining stumps have not been cauterized. Hydra attempts a fortitude save after it regains hit points from regeneration. Boom. Success. 1 uncauterized stump regrows 2 heads.
Oh.
Can never grow more than double. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so one of the stumps, like these sacs kind of form and then pop open, and there's 2 fresh dripping heads, like still blood and weird oozing liquid all over them, but they're fully developed. Whereas the other stump just still has these half-formed heads. You can maybe vaguely see the outline of a head under this thin skin that is still protecting it. It didn't cost it an action, so I think it has its full round left. Which it's going to use to just. Ottardo is in a good position to shield everyone else, so it's not going to bother moving. As annoying as those claws are, it's just going to do a focused assault on Ottardo. So single strike that misses, and then it'll follow up with its. Oh, but it was just a regular miss, so I guess.
Which Hydra is this?
Yeah,
That
this
one
was
right
the
next to
water
you.
one. Is this not the water one?
Oh, it was supposed to be the one in the water? Oh no! That always happens to me that I get them confused. Sorry. I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference though. So let's just roll with it
Mm-hmm.
if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's too much to roll back now. So the first attack was a regular miss, and because it was the focused assault, you still take the regular damage then, which is 17 points. And then its final action was another attack with the highest map, which was a crit miss. And then it's Augrael's turn.
Does this one still have an uncauterized? The one that just went. Does it have a still have one stump or no
This one
stumps?
still has a stump.
Okay. I was gonna use one action to take out a alchemist fire.
Okay.
And then he is going to throw it at the creature. Why won't it let me do that? What is? Oh, I don't have that in my hand. That's why. Okay, hold on 1 second. Sorry. I always forget to drop things that I use in other combats, and I did not drop that. Okay, here we go.
Boom, you miss, but it's a regular miss. When you on a failure, but not a crit failure, the target of the attack still takes the splash damage, which is what splash damage here?
I can roll
There
it.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just 1 point of splash, but that is enough to cauterize the stump.
Yes. And then since he took it out, used
An
it,
action left.
he'll shield with his last action.
Okay. And then it's the other Hydra's turn. And we'll move out of the water. Shoom, shoom, shoom. And then move along onto the rocks, trying to avoid the skeletal hands. And it's just 2 out of those squares, so that's fine. Targeting Ottardo and doing 1 strike that it has left, but critically misses. Ottardo, your turn.
So what's the head situation currently?
Yeah, so the one down here has 4 heads and is no longer on fire. And I guess because I switched up their initiative order, that actually changed things because the splash weapon would cauterize all stumps, even with just a single point of splash damage. Because that's how that works. Like if you do splash damage, all stumps are cauterized. So I'm gonna take back that double head growth, and I'll take it down to 3 again because that was my mistake. I don't want to give me an advantage by messing up the order here. So the one to the north, 3 heads, no stumps. No uncauterized stumps. The one to the south, 5 heads. No one. 4 heads.
Shouldn't it be
No.
4?
Yep, it is 4. 4 heads, no uncauterized stumps.
Okay. Um, well, in that case, he's going to well, he's gonna start by raising his shield. Where is it? Pop. Then he's going to target the south, the head of the one of the heads on the south one.
Yep. You swing and you hit. You smash one of the heads for 17 points. Down to 3 heads.
Um, and he's gonna target the second head.
Okay. That's another hit. And you give it a good smash, but it's still blinking. Like half of its jaw is kind of hanging down, but it's still functional.
And that's Ottardo's turn.
All right, and at the end of your turn, you see like the head that you only managed almost to the point of breaking it, like the jaw quickly reattaches, the wounds close, and it's back to its full strength. Okay, so but this one I should take here. Okay. And then it's Lucca's turn.
We need to focus all of our efforts on a single creature at a time. The power to regenerate is too potent. And then saying that he's going to deal damage to both creatures. He'll sustain the skeletons. I guess he'll just keep it right there.
Yeah, the one to the north needs to save. The one to the south has enough room to not have to do that. The regular failure.
It's not in the area.
Well, there was something about area effects on huge creatures, at least in 1E, where I can look that up in a second, but let me do this first. So this one gets half damage here. Because it's not like if you only cover one square of a huge creature that counts. There was a rule about needing certain amount. Let's see, areas. Area. Oh, maybe it's by it's
Areas.
creature size. Creature of different sizes. Oh, it's regarding movement.
The area entry doesn't really have anything on that.
The thing, basically, what I mean by that is that it used to be that a creature that takes up more than 2x2 could seize into a smaller area, but it wouldn't actually take any penalties for that until it hits half of its area. So it essentially is just kind of like, trying to stay out of those 2 squares, which are technically part of its area, but it can avoid them without taking a penalty.
So you're saying
yeah.
I can't affect both creatures simultaneously where they're positioned right now.
That's right. I'm gonna. The creature's turn needs to. It needs to have. Well, sorry. It's kind of like an active thing that it does, so it has to happen on its own initiative. So it's like if this was a burst effect, for example, you would cover both of them because they can't do this as a reaction to avoid that area.
Okay.
You know?
So this is I know this is weird and gamey, but if I moved it like this to fully capture the creature that's avoiding my skeletal hands, the other one hasn't had the chance to squeeze. Would that affect both of them?
That's exactly right. And I think that's fine because the one up to the north has basically ignored them, just accepted that it needs to share that space.
Okay. Then
And now the one to the south can't avoid it.
Then that's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll shift the hands to further engulf the one that's trying to dodge them. Deal the damage.
Take some damage here.
Okay. And then I will. There's no wounds to cauterize, but I want to keep 2 actions available for doing ignition.
Wait,
The one on the south does have
yeah.
a stump to cauterize.
Oh, because you just got rid of.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I missed that. Yeah, I'll try to cauterize that.
Yeah. He smashed one head and didn't manage to fully smash the
Oh, I
second.
got it. Okay, I missed that. All right, I will fire away then. So I can bring my spell up. There we go.
Ooh. Oh man, the same one again?
Mm-hmm.
Same one, same exact damage attack roll, I should say. Wait, no, sorry, that's an attack, not the damage. 16 points. This is actually 32. And it's affected by the persistent fire damage again.
All right. Yeah, you can see it's clearly panicking near death.
Somebody finish it swiftly.
Soma.
Oh, well, no need to ask me twice. Let's try again telekinetic projectile at the Southern Hydra.
At the body or at another head?
The, you know what? Let's try to do it at the body. The body
body,
probably
okay.
should be bigger, so it will be easier to hit. And if it's near death, then at least it will stop moving for a while.
All right. That's a hit. Roll for damage. 18. Okay. You bring it down. Which I guess moves its turn. Wait. Why does it say that it's actually
Because it's probably still regenerating unless the regeneration is turned off, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess as long as it has a head left, it'll continue to regenerate. I'm just trying to figure out, but does say that it should still move the initiative because it went down. So Augrael.
Okay. But this one is like, does Oz see it being up, or
What was that?
so you said it's still regenerating? Does Augrael like?
Well, you can probably see that even though it went down, it's no longer moving right now. But you would see that there's like stuff happening. Wounds are closing. It's clearly still regenerating.
Okay, so he will stride up to that one and try and strike it.
Okay, and that'll draw one attack of opportunity from up here.
Put it to dying 4 quickly.
It's a miss because of nimble dodge.
Nibble, yeah, Nibble Dodge shouldn't be on, but he can do it because it's a reaction.
Okay, so then you
So
use
he'll
your
do it.
reaction to dodge it. Okay, so
Um,
that's fine, and then you can try to continue to attack it. I'm assuming that's at a head, or what is this attack? Because I mean, or just
yeah,
hacking away
yeah.
at the body. Okay,
I think he'll try and make another head.
all right, roll the damage.
Okay, let me turn off his weakness.
All right, so you once again like needle one of the heads until it comes off the neck. So now we're down to 2 heads.
Okay. Um. Hmm. He'll. He's just gonna swing at other head.
At another
With
head.
the map for his last action.
Okay, go for it.
Whoa,
And
that's not right. Let me redo that. Let me read that.
that seems like a lot.
Why does it
Yeah.
always go back? Yeah, it always goes back on even though I turn it off. I just need to fix that somehow. Okay, there we go.
But that's still enough to
Still-
chop off another head. So there's only 1 head left, and 2 stumps are bleeding onto the rocks and pebbles. The Hydra to the north. Well, I guess now it does not have any competition for food, so it's going to do. First, it's going to try to strike at Ottardo. Regular strike, missing. Then it's going to try to strike at Augrael. Oops, sorry, that was the wrong one because it should have a -5, so it actually misses. And then it's going to try to strike Augrael again with a -10, which is also a miss. Great. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
So the one that's down still has 1 head,
Yes,
and we seem to be thinking that heads equal regeneration.
that is what Augrael can
what I
tell
was
you.
saying.
Okay.
No heads equals deads.
Well, he's going to try to smash one. Let's see.
All right, and you managed to do that. Smash it right off.
So no more heads on the one that's down, right?
No more heads on the one that's down, and it's
Uh,
burning.
well, he's going to target the one north. Same thing, one of the heads.
Right, you hit one of them, but it doesn't really pop it off.
And he is going to finish his turn by raising his shield.
Okay, so the head regenerates quickly and is unharmed. Lucca.
All right. I feel like every turn there's a new rules thing. Let me ask you this. I know I get the rationale of the AoE doesn't cauterize heads unless it covers the entire creature's space. But what if it's lying on the ground not moving? Can I just move my floating flame around and sizzle those stumps?
Right. Do you have how many feet of movements do you have with your floating sphere?
Whenever I sustain it, I can move it 10 feet. So the square it starts in, and then, I mean, when I first summon it, it's just going to appear in one square.
Because
And
it's not
then,
I mean, the way that I imagine it, and I think that's the way also to reconcile it with the rules as written, is that as this creature goes down, it doesn't look just dead. It would still like kind of be writhing. The necks would still be kind of like slashing around, um, as it is still regenerating. So I think you would have to spend those. If you would have to be able to spend the 3, 6, the 9 squares of movement to kind of cover the whole area. If that makes
okay.
sense.
All right. In that case, then I'm just going to 1, 2.
And even that is kind of a very generous reading, I
Yeah.
think, of it, because it's not really an area
It's not even.
damage.
I mean, really, the creature occupies not 9 squares, but 27. So, um, it's got height
Oh, right,
too.
right,
But
right. Yeah.
yeah, in that case, I will just do the. I'll just try to ignite one of the stumps. Has the creature had its turn yet
Nope,
since it went down?
because it moved an initiative to before
Oh,
Souma.
okay. All right. That's why. All right. So hit a stump. 15 points of damage.
Okay, and one of the stumps is cauterized. All right, so then it's its turn.
Well, hang on, and I'll use my last action to move the grasping or the hands, move the skeletal hands up to get the other guy too.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna put it all over him right now.
That takes half damage from it. All right, so the Hydra that's down, first thing that does that it regenerates. Hang on. I
I think it doesn't have any heads left.
Let's see. Yeah, that's the thing. So regeneration only fully deactivates if all its heads are severed and all stumps are cauterized. Okay, so it doesn't currently regain hit points, but it gets that fortitude save to pop 2 heads out of one of the uncauterized stumps. So I'll give it that, and it fails it by 1.
Oh,
So yeah, you can see, as I said before, that you see these little sacs forming, and maybe there's this like thin, very thin skin, like the skin between an eggshell and the egg, and then there's this,
Ooh.
the head is already pushing through. You can kind of see its outlines. You can see that there's teeth. Everything's fully formed, but it's just not quite yet ready to
Augrael
pop.
pops with his big toe.
What's that?
He puts his big toe and pops the sack before it can get 2 heads out.
It pops open. There's this like what looks like natal fluid or amniotic fluid leaks out. And then it takes the persistent fire damage, which cauterizes all the stumps.
Oh,
So
good.
now
I was wondering how that would work.
So now it is solidly dead.
Mm-hmm.
Soma,
These
your
things
turn.
are hard to kill.
Yeah.
And hard to run.
Those things must have a lot of stem
Yeah.
cells in them or something.
Well, let's not stop there. So and continue pelting the remaining Hydra. So it will be another slashing one. Let's try target at the head. One of the heads again.
Crit hit.
No.
And I'm assuming you're targeting the body as before.
I was going to try the head.
Okay, I didn't hear that, but that's fine. Okay, that's enough to cut one of the heads off.
Mm-hmm.
And we're down to 2 heads.
Yes, I still have one action, but I will forfeit it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
what?
no, go.
Okay, Augrael.
All right, so there's one up. How many heads does this one currently have?
2.
2.
2 heads, 1 stump.
Oh, you had to
All
phrase it
right.
like that.
He is going to stride to it.
Triggers an attack of opportunity.
Yep.
Augrael, don't
Try
stand
to
there,
miss.
you fool!
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Do I trigger it by going into it, or just by ending?
No,
there?
no. It's just when I sustain it.
Okay.
But you're in difficult terrain right now.
Okay. So that's 5. So I can get there with 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he will take a swing on this thing. He does not get sneak anymore because his recall knowledge thing has worn off. And he can't flank, so it'll just be a straight swing. At a head.
Nice. That's a hit. Let's see if you do enough damage to cut it off. You do.
All right.
One head left. 2 stumps.
All right. He'll
All right.
swing with it. His last action, he'll swing at the other head.
Okay. Critical hit.
Nice.
Pretty sure that's gonna do
Oh.
it. Let's see the 25. All right, so you cut off the last head. So the Hydra just kind of like is flailing around. Oh, I should have taken that damage too. 16 and 25. It's just kind of flailing around, but since the stumps are still capable of producing new heads, it's not dead yet. And then it's its turn.
Okay.
It doesn't regenerate any damage because there are no active heads, but it does get that save.
Good.
Missed it by 3 this time.
Feeling the frustration over here.
It's just they're so complicated to run, and then you don't even get the payoff of sprouting a new head. Only when you kind of like fudge the initiative. Ottardo's turn.
Is it 1 per head or 1 per?
It's explicitly only 1 for.
Oh, wow,
No matter
okay,
how many
okay.
ones they are.
Ottardo is just going to go down on the body, try to get it down.
All right, let's see.
So-
Yeah, you strike it for 17, and that makes it, collapse.
Sorry, what?
Now all it needs is a sprinkling of fire or acid to finish it off. Ottardo?
Ottardo will raise his shield, and he doesn't have any fire or acid, so he hopes Lucca doesn't manage to miss.
All right. And it's Lucca's turn. looks like Anthony's preoccupied right now. Soma, do you have something with acid or fire that you want to move first, maybe?
Unfortunately, I don't. I've been just checking for it.
Okay, then I guess we'll have to wait for our glorious leader. Okay, got it. All right, so he's gonna target it. That makes sense. He's gonna target it and fire off some ignition. Cast ignition from a distance attack. Critically hits. What a way to end this creature. And he runs it over with a wall of fire. And thus ends the encounter. Some well-earned 80 XP for everyone.
Yay.
And with that, the cave falls silent. Nothing but the little dripping sound of the water and the sizzle of the well-charred remains of the two hydras. And we're gonna drop the curtain here.
I got it, I see.
Yes.
Yes, you did indeed, with a critical hit
You got it.
to finish it off.
I was due for some crits.
Mm-hmm.
I had that was a really bad fight for me against the whatever that Jafaki guy. So
Yeah. 80 XP for everyone, Anthony. I don't think you heard that, so make sure you add that to the sheet. And wow, you're really leaving no stone unturned in this level. That's pretty amazing. Being super thorough, basically, even like clearing out the garbage disposal, pretty much.
Wow. Okay, so Hydrus. You're a Hydrus. Didn't expect that.
Yeah,
no.
you caught me a little bit on the wrong foot because I honestly didn't expect you to be so thorough and just mop up everything on this floor. So I was thinking we would move further down, and I hadn't looked again at the hydras since a long time ago. And I figured like, oh yeah, hydras, I know their shtick. But it's actually kind of weird to
They
run
sound
them.
very complicated.
Yeah, because it's like it calls out that the player can choose to attack the head directly, which makes sense, but then it doesn't do what to do with excess damage, for example. Like, does that roll over to the body?
Right.
And the next thing is that where is it?
Yeah.
If you attack, if the attack no, that's not what it is. The head that is not completely severed returns to full hit points at the end of any creature's turn. So what does that mean? Like, so you don't do any damage then? It's like,
Yeah, you either destroy it or
I guess
nothing.
it just comes back.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like you're almost, I mean, it never explicitly says that, but just also seeing how this now played out, it feels like you're almost supposed to treat the heads as separate creatures. So, like, they have 15 hit points, and if you deal 20 hit points to it, the head comes off, but the remaining 5 don't roll over to the body. The head just came off. Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense how that, like, returning to full hit points would work.
Oh yeah.
Can you also like kill them dead? Like just take them to dying 4 even without destroying the heads?
I think creatures that have regeneration can't be killed.
Yeah,
They just can't go to dying. Okay.
You have to deactivate the regeneration before they can get dead.
And it's only deactivated by destroying all of the heads and cauterizing them all.
Yeah, and the funnier thing is that as long as the stumps aren't cauterized, it technically still has regeneration. It just has regeneration 0. So you really have to cauterize them for regeneration to be deactivated.
So there's really only one way to kill that creature. It's like you have to destroy all the heads and you have to cauterize every wound. And if you don't catch it and the heads start popping back out, then there's even more heads you have to cauterize.
Yeah, and I mean I was probably noticed that was a little frustrating for me that I only get that one save, but I totally get it. Like it's, I mean, imagine getting 2 or 3 in one round
Yeah.
and coming
Yeah.
back with 6 heads
No,
on
that's-
top of however many heads it
yeah,
already
that's pretty
has, and
spiral.
it can grow, it can grow up to 10. So let's number. So it can really up to 10 heads, and with that focused assaulting, if it makes one successful strike, you would make the regular additional 1d6 for every
They weren't that hard to avoid getting. Like they, even when a head when only one head hits, it's not a horrible amount of damage. Just when it does.
for a level 6 group is to do 15 points of damage with that one
One hit.
swing, because if you don't the 15 points in one round in one turn,